Good morning, happy people. Welcome to ChartRoom. Everything in today's video is never financial, investment, or trade advice of any kind. Everything is just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. I eat red crayons for breakfast. Trading in the markets carries substantial risk. Never trade more than you can afford to lose, and especially be aware against high-level trading. Past performance is never indicative of future performance.
Jason, I got a question for you. So, I couldn't see very well on I don't have my eyeglasses on, and I left them upstairs. But what is the number where we're at right now?
We are today at 6.42. Okay.
Now, I'm asking because I have benchmarks that the Lord gave us. That's why I'm asking. And He gave last year, which is interesting, right?
Yep. 6.5, 6.6, 5.7, so 6.5, 6.6. This is currently a very important number. 6.5 and 6.6 right now are going to be just right there, right about here. Okay, that's the 6.5 is just above this line. Oh, wait, yeah, 6.6 right there at the line, right there at the line. So when the Lord tells Triple J benchmark, from what we've gathered over the years, what we take it to mean is these crossover moments, or the moments that are like you can seat on, like a bench. They're also like a marker to understand something new is happening, something important. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to build above there, but it's definitely an important place to look to see something happening. I personally take it more to lean that we're going to do something important at that area. And I think Triple J, would you agree somewhat of that take?
No, definitely. And then He gave us his numbers, and He also gave us that 7. And I know that He shows in part, He speaks in part. And I do take Christians' dreams very serious, because they do. He has that gift, and they do come to pass. So they collaborate a lot within the words that the Lord gives me. The highest number He's given me is 7. And that same day that He gave me the 7, He gave me the 2 number, which is completely the opposite. I believe that we were going to hit that quick. Obviously, I don't know everything. I don't have a crystal ball. I only have the Lord that speaks to me. And I believe that Christian said that it was a quick hit to 9. So that's why I asked you about the benchmark, and to see where we're at prophetically, and to see when we're going to hit that 2. Because I believe that once we hit that 7, and obviously now the 9, the Lord hasn't given me anything else regarding that. So I believe with His collaboration and you guys are doing TA, we might hit that fast 9 and then come back down and then hit that super cycle that we've been expecting.
Thank you.
Those are my sense right now.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
I didn't hear him say quick. Maybe you guys heard him say it. I heard we have it as 9 plus. So we'll take a look at it. 7 is, if 7 is there, then it tells more of a story that we're going to be able to break above that line. If we hit 7, especially if we stop there and build and come in for a landing. We talked about when we were going to hit this number up there in the sky. We hit it, but then I talked about what is called a landing. We were looking to land on top of those old parabolics that were forming here. These 2 areas. We landed on top of the first one, which is nice drop landing, and we can cut it and we can have a more higher take on where we're going. So that's what's happening. So anyone who's in shorts right now should still be up on your shorts because of these things. But one of the other things we're looking for is if the next moves are 7, then we get up to 7, we're going to be looking for another landing. How can we tell what kind of volume do we need on the down move, which would be equal bearishness? Can somebody tell me what do we need for the down move after that? It would look like if we were landing here. Just say this chart, the candles look like that. A nice juicy landing on top of that the 6.64 or something. Okay. If that happens, what kind of volume do we need? Somebody unmute your microphone, put it in the chat. What do we need? What is it?
Volume.
High or low?
Low.
Low. That's right, Wayne's World. Low volume. If you get low volume, it tells us an important piece of information. What information does it teach? Does it give us? if we did something like that? What information, why do we need it to be low? What is it telling us if we come in for a nice landing on low volume?
Would it mean that people aren't really buying crypto?
Yeah, that's what it that's what it would mean. That's one way to look at it. It would mean, good job, X. It would mean lack of interest. If we see crypto go up, and then we would see this. Now, what would the market look like during that moment that it's coming in for a landing? So we can calculate it in advance. There's a hint in the background what happened here, what we were expecting, that nice old landing. What happened here? If that happens after we hit 7 area, what would it look like? What does it mean when this is going down like that? What does the crypto world look like?
Going up.
Going up, right? So you're going to see people buying crypto here, just like you were over the past week. You saw, oh, it's going up, it's time to buy again. And no, it's not time to buy again. It's very dangerous to buy because you're on the wrong side now. We already saw the volume goes down. The harmony is that it wants the up move. Okay? You can swim, you can easily see water flowing, right? But it's also easy to see the fish swimming against the stream. We talked about that this past week. We talked about the salmon swimming against the stream. This was the salmon swimming against the stream. Okay? If you see this and the volume is going down, it's like a car going uphill with a foot off the gas. It would be, maybe that's a bad analogy for this because we want, the hill is the up direction. The downhill is going to be the right direction. But if you see a car going uphill without, and somebody takes their foot off the gas, you know the car is going the wrong direction. It's only a matter of time before it starts rolling back the correct direction in alliance with momentum and inertia. Here, if we see a down move on and the volume is low, you know that you're looking for another bearish. Look to hunt it, look to cut it. Don't necessarily take action at 6.64. Just like we didn't necessarily take action here, we wait for confirmation. Okay? The markets can be somewhat bullish, and it's a game designed to make you lose and to make the lemmings lose primarily. We're not lemmings. We're smart. We're not sheep. We're act wise as serpents, harmless as doves. Okay, so if you see that, look for a very strong bearish move in the market soon. If you see that. All right?
Would you call that a bull trap?
Yeah, other teachers would. I really don't use that terminology, but it's probably fitting. It would probably be like a bull trap. I would probably more classify a bull trap as if you see candles really trying to spike below here, and yeah, that might be more of a bull trap. But other teachers would call that type of maneuver something like a bull trap. If you see this on low volume. All right, we're about to look at Bitcoin. It's so good you're understanding this, because if you understand this, you got what's happening with your cryptos. You know exactly what's happening with your cryptos. You don't even need me. Okay? I need you. I need you in my life. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Was that all the questions for USDT.D? Going once. I'm about to jump into Bitcoin. We'll use these practically. Okay. For all the new people in our community, God bless you. Thank you very much for joining us. So let's go to Bitcoin. You guys will see. I don't want to spend too much time because we did the bulk of this already with USDT.D. All right. So remember the principles, the rules. In an uptrend, hunt the down moves. When that trend's over, be careful taking any buys. Here's a very important move for Bitcoin. Let's put it on the weekly chart, and you can see it. It's the large green move. That's one of the more immediate, larger moves that's happening. We can also see an old flat here, price building above these. It's gonna, the fact that we spend time here, but also rejecting here for many months, from all the way from March all the way to October or September, tells us we're going to be placing more emphasis on this top area right here rather than the lower old area. So most of that one's already done, and the map looks something more like this. And you can see us trying to reach back into these areas. When we hunted this up move, this one could be adjusted a little bit to the left, right about there. Yeah. So once we have that up move, we can see that weakness has entered Bitcoin approximately in October. And what was our larger report in October? Bitcoin's going down. We called a few different numbers, and our numbers we recalled was approximately around 113 to 104. Was it 113, 111,000? And that range is when we enter that range, we're looking for that to be pulse the maximum. Now price hit around 114, 116, I think it was, during that very same weekend. But after that, it didn't change the game. We were on the wrong side of these candles, and that meant that this should come down. Now we have this chart on the index. Okay, we have an index version of this chart. It looks like this: USDT.D. I'm sorry, BTC index. Okay, so you can see a lot of that. Here's that 111. Here's 113. This is when I did a very big public report. I said, guys, Bitcoin's gonna come down. We called a few areas. The first one was 99,000. Price hit 99,000, and then the next one we had already on the board as well. At the same time, we had this on the board, 95 to 89, which was an average of 90,000. So after we hit 99,000, we were looking to hit 90,000. Now here's another thing. We also call this large vortex. You can see, guess what? We were right again. Here's where I put my large border. When you guys see me draw those borders and we're in those territories, pay attention. So all of those became in play once we're here, and once we're here. Yeah. So all of those were telling us primarily, oh, and here's another smaller one. All those are primarily telling us, hey, we need to be hitting here. But there's some other things that are important. We're going to get to this in this chart. Number one, we got this large foundational area here since December 22nd, or December of 2022, and October 2023. Okay, so years in the making. We are going to be looking towards this area. Okay, now this is important because, are you going shopping? No. Oh, okay. It's like, be safe. If we come down into these areas, then more bad things happen. If we're gonna bounce, we need to bounce here. Can we agree on at least this foundational area? Can we agree that this is important foundational area here and here? So if we come to this side, it tells us something's not right. When that happens, we calculate for event line. Okay, event line is the last event to happen. Now we've already done this lots of times, so that's why I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But the top energy centers are here and the lower energy centers here. So price is supposed to bounce where? Right there. So what the heck are we doing here under here today? Do you see it? Look where we're at right now. I don't know if you guys can see this. That's where we're at. I mean, these candles are too big. Okay? You are here. Do you see it? If we're here, this is a very compelling story. This was supposed to be our savior. We were supposed to bounce as a vortex out of there. But remember from lesson 1, what happens at cryptocurrencies is just as important what doesn't happen in cryptocurrency. We are supposed to bounce on event line. And if you cannot even hold up an event line, it tells you everything you need to know. If you can't pass the basics, the crypto's weak. And that's just as important in telling. I wish somebody would have told me this years ago when I was younger. Okay? All right? I wish somebody would have told me the simple truth about trend lines. Is what happens at trend lines is just as important as what doesn't happen at trend lines. Okay? Lesson 1. All right. Today's not a tutorial. So anyway, we're talking about these lines. And now we are here. We got a nice juicy close. When? On November 17th. So we did public report, right? You guys saw my public report. We have this large white candle up here. Let me fade away these arrows. They're all done. We've hit our numbers. And those who are watching want to be part of our community. You're just seeing this clip online or a piece of this clip. This is our website. You can follow us to learn how to map cryptocurrencies, learn how to get good at mapping, and you guys can follow along for our most important reports. Okay, the links are in the description. Now, this candle here was telling us what important piece of information. Somebody tell me what this up bar was telling us. Mine's are white, yours were probably green. I like red and white, my favorite colors. What was this candle telling us? Let's see, somebody from our live audience. Someone in our community, anyone. We're in the middle of our live Monday session. Can somebody tell me what this candle right there meant? What was it telling us? I don't care about doji or any of that name, bullish engulfing, bearish engulfing. This is not a candlesticks course. The close is what's very important. Somebody tell me what close was telling us. Nobody? Delay? It could be for the week. But this candle was telling us almost everything we needed to know. It wasn't telling us delay. Alex.
Okay, so I see rounding action, but you're asking about the white one, right?
Yep.
So it closed it wicked up and then closed underneath, almost right at that vortex.
Yes. Yeah, it did close at the vortex, and that's important. Why is it important? Somebody tell me, let's group these together. How about that? What is these two telling us? If we didn't have that red one, we have almost everything we already need to know with these two. Not even including USDT.D that was telling us we're more likely to go down. Not even using the volume that was telling us we're more likely to break to the lower side. Or those kinds of things. Anyone else? We got 30 people in our live meeting right now. Many of you have been with us for a long time.
Dang it.
Is that where the supply was being eaten up at?
We haven't pulled up volume, so I wouldn't expect you to know that with my question. We would probably try to look to see low volume on the up move. That would mean lack of interest.
I'm just looking at the fact that the white candle, when it crossed down, the very next candle went up, right? So
the white candle's an up bar. So the very next candle went down.
Went down, okay.
Okay. Weakness, Moira, you got it. Why is it weakness? Why is this up bar weakness? Another way, if you also have extremely high volume here too, that's also a high indication. But low volume for lack of interest and high volume at this area, but this specific area. The wick shows suppression. That's right, X. You got it. Good job. Good job. X got it. The wick shows suppression. Almost everything you need to know is found in this chart. Okay, remember, let's draw our supports. The bulk of the supports are here and the target, which is here, right? So we can agree that this was a very important close. This was important, number one. This told us, hey, you phased through. You didn't get the bounce. Jason, you were supposed to bounce. In the stock market, you need a little more leeway because in the stock market, there's a lot of this that juts out. So I put less weight in this stock. But the crypto market, not so much. Usually in the crypto market, what you get most of the time, okay? When we got that close on the weekly chart, 1 week, each one of these is 1 week worth of time. So we're dealing with lots of time here, very important lines. The very next candle starts here and comes up to here. If you understand how candles work, it went all the way this high and got squished back down here. Why is getting squished down here important? Because it's telling us, hey guys, I couldn't come back. It's like trying to do resuscitation and you're not seeing the signs of life. Even though you're pumping oxygen into his body, the body's not breathing on its own. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. We couldn't come back into the normal oscillation. Remember, the larger oscillation was price playing in those larger areas. It was supposed to bounce. And now if you really pull up a microscope and you see all the pressure on that candle right there, why are we stopping here? That's important. That should be giving you alarm bells. Why in the world are we stopping here? It tells you almost everything you need to know. Not only are we underneath, but we're stopping there too, trying to come up for air, and we're not getting the air. Guess what? You're drowning. You're about to fall. It's a very dead giveaway. We've seen this kind of stuff for years. We've seen this kind of stuff for years. So you need to be aware when it happens. Okay, now we already hit the target conservatively. We may be looking to hit it unconservatively for a more immediate target closer to now 70, between 75 and 76. So we're going to give us about, 75. We're going to give it 75.8. It might be a more realistic short-term target. Okay, So this is what I wanted to point out before we looked at volume, before we looked at anything really of note. You need to understand those simple candles can reveal to you a story. One on its own may not be worth put too much weight, but multiple tell a very strong and powerful story. They tell a story of suppression. That's not looking good, okay? And give myself a margin of error. I still got this target, and that target, all telling a story, okay? Bitcoin is weak. Okay. If you learn this kind of stuff, it's going to serve you well when you need it in real life. You'll be able to watch in real time what is happening with your favorite cryptos. Okay. So now I'm going to pull up volume real quick. And I'm going to hide these lines and show you real quick in the volume where Bitcoin is more likely to do. Right now, it's telling us in painting a picture that we are not absorbing. Not absorbing. I'm not going to do this lesson because we do it all the time, but on our Wednesday sessions, we talk about the supply and we compare those areas together. And you can see that the supply is not depleting because there's an increase in the supply. If there was a decrease in supply and the volume was really low as we come down to these areas, we'd be more looking for a time to go up. Now, because we see the exact opposite, it means the buyers are losing. The buyers in this area are not winning. This is a losing condition. So right now it paints a more deeper picture that in the story, Bitcoin should be pressing towards the downside. In addition to all of that, we're not even close to buying. Look at the foundational area. If we're going to buy Bitcoin, I need to be buying it somewhere past here. So we got time to even play. But more that's revealed, and we play here, the more it will reveal the next set of health and weakness. In this case, I believe we're going to be moving towards the weak side. Okay, because there's no absorption / control. Because the proper word in this one would be more control. Absorption is when Actually, it is absorption of supply. Buyers. But in sellers, it's more control. I just use the word absorption and control. Okay, so of these scenario, it's more likely we're going to fall to the downside. Now, we only have 2 challenges. I like 3 to really give myself a proper analysis or a deeper, thorough analysis of volume. Okay, I like to have 1 or 2 blood analysis type of things. But in this case, the 2 are trending that we're not going to win this battle. And even if we do, we still got time to buy Bitcoin. It's not today. It is not today. Wait until you have a sign of health. You could say, what if Bitcoin goes up really high today? It could. And the highest it could probably hit is closer to the maybe 100, and was it 98 to 106, or it's about 102. We could see 102K. And people would be like, wow, look, CJ Song is wrong. You need to understand, did your foundation line break? Did the game change? Did the volume still change? If not, you're still right on schedule. This is the pullback. Price is going the wrong direction if that happens. But we can already calculate where those maximums are. Now, if I'm expecting a big shakeout in the market, which it's possible because they happen, I don't want to make sure my stops are anywhere underneath 102. I need to have stops 102 plus. Okay, maybe somewhere up there if I'm trading with stops. You got to be real careful. Okay, real careful trading too tight of a range. And if you can't take it, you're probably over leveraged. Okay, you're probably over trading. Okay, make sure you can at least take a move that far. All right. Any other questions? Bitcoin right now before I continue so far?
Yes, sorry. So next week's close, under that last flat you were drawing, you said you thought we might get weaker. Would you say it's next week's close?
No. We might get weaker. Hold on.
That was that blue line you drew on the bottom. It wasn't a flat.
Oh, the other chart. Okay, so right now I'm already in the territory where we're there. Everything's playing out, continuing to play out, just as in alignment with our reports. It is very possible we're going to be getting down to some lower numbers. The next one is this target right there, properly 75,000. So If I were to give myself another target, since our first target was hit, you guys can see that. We're going to fade that one away. It was hit. Praise God. But first, I'm going to write this number down. I'm going to take a picture because sometimes people don't know why our charts are important until you show them why. Hit. I love the board games, and I love when I'm rolling them dice. And I love the Halo board game. It's really fun. And I love when I'm getting them headshots and rolling them dice. I played with my brother over the holiday, Thanksgiving. And he was like, another game, another. And we played all night. We played all the way through the night. And we played 3 games. It was like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, brother, I can't play anymore. He's like, but you're not here. You live far away. You got to play me now. I'm like, all right, I will play. I was bloodshot eyes rolling them hits. I like when we get hit. Okay? Don't judge me. I feel your judgment. Okay. The Halo board game is really fun. He says it's like Halo, but you can sit down and actually think. Yeah, I know. The next hit location for me, I'm going to place it here at 75K. I'm going to place it down about halfway to the lower part. And that's how I'm going to place my next target. Based on the current data, 75. Let's give yourself an average for this. The average is going to be 76. So the numbers is 78,299 to 75,642. So that range, 78.3 to 75.6. Okay? This is my next projection publicly. Okay, so I'm going to do it from here on, since that was already done. My next target. Today's date is December 1st. I'm putting myself out there. 2025. Target. Not just the target system, but my personal target. Okay? I think we're going there. I have to say it correctly. Think. Would Bitcoin at 82,000 be an important level per iPad's map above? What did iPad do? Let me take a look. He's calculating for... I don't know. I don't know what that line that he's calculating for. This looks like he's below his DP, so... Yeah, I don't know why he got that line, but maybe. You'd have to ask him. And iPad's a pretty smart guy. So I would say, yeah. Okay, now let's get back to the chart and our presentation. I'm going to pull up that other chart here now. Okay, I'm going to give you a few other things that we need. Now, I don't have much verification because price didn't really stop here, all right? Price didn't really stop here. I'm going to bring it up to the weekly chart. Since price didn't really stop in this oscillation, I have not too much evidence that we will hit a DP here. If price stopped here and bounced and then came, I would have more evidence that the oscillation is strong. What I'm calculating for is how strong is this oscillation. The stronger it is, the more weight I put on a DP, which means a target down closer to 50 or 65,000. In this case, it's 60,000 right about here. Okay, I'm not going to put too much weight since I don't have much bottom area, but I do have 3 tops, and that's some weight to it. So with 3 tops, 1 bottom, I'm going to put some kind of weight along the oscillation in this area. So let's place that on the board right now. Got it? So let's put that on. And that's going to give us a target. Or this is going to give us a support in the month of January, somewhere around January 5th, 64,000. So that's if another set of weakness comes in underneath this target. We would be looking possibly at 64,000 Bitcoin. All right? So that's how that would work. All right, so I'll put that on your board. And it's something you probably want to do as well. If price is falling too fast over the next few days, we're closer to 62 if it's just like next week or so. Okay. All right, I'm going to pull up that final map, the other one we were looking at earlier on Binance. And no, it wasn't Binance. BTC, USD. What's it? Bitstamp, I think it was. All right, let me say these comments. November 22nd, Bitcoin shows small signs of reversal delay now that our two targets have been hit from previous reports, 90 and 80K average. Because of both of the small health, and this was that small health we were expecting last week, price is sitting on its target. Patience may be needed for the next short. There are two areas to pay attention, 90 and 75,000. So again, this is still 75,000. If price rises to 90, especially on falling volume, as we rise, lack of interest, if a price rises to 90,000, all right, this is that move, especially if it's on lack of interest, this up move right there. If that's on lack of interest, this means the real move is not the up move. That's important because of context. The whole area is bearish territory. Next, what's important? If price closes below the 89,000, which it did, look at that. See, that's exactly what we talked about. So I'm not making this stuff up. This is the same stuff we projected even before we're here. Okay. Then tomorrow, Sunday, 8 p.m., this means that more weakness has come into the market. 89,000 is the event line phantom, and this is supposed to be the support. But if price crosses below it, it tells us everything we need to know. Weakness, 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 guys. Okay? And this would mean that on Monday, November 24th, we can confirm where Bitcoin is likely going next. In conclusion, price may make a small reversal towards 89,000, but the close Sunday will tell us when to start shorting again, or if there's more health short term. This is a powerful vortex, December 6th. Okay, so that's all of this into this area. So let's go to a daily chart, and I want to confirm that up move should be on lack of interest or high volume near the tops only, like this day. So those are going to be like ultra high volume or the lack of interest. So that's going to tell us the harmony. I'm going to turn off my lines. I haven't looked at this, but we're going to look at it right now. And oh, lo and behold, Jae-Sung is teaching me some things. What is the volume like on this up move? When Bitcoin was going from 80,000 and moved all the way to 92,000, was it the time to buy? What was the volume telling us? Somebody unmute your microphone and teach us, please. What is the volume telling us during that last bullish move? Low demand. And what does low demand mean, X? For this in context. Okay. Remember, volume is a language. One letter on its own is part of a sound, part of a word. Words are part of a sentence, so start part of a paragraph. No support going higher. It's not so much support, but you're close. Wayne's World.
I would say just a short-lived up.
Yeah, short-lived. The car's going downhill, and it starts going uphill, and they took their foot off the gas. It's only a matter of time before the down move resumes. Christian says falling volume, weak bounce. Yep, that's right, a weak bounce. These are all ways we can view this. Buyers not winning, the buyers are losing. There's one important word I'm looking for. It starts with an L. I teach it to you guys all the time. Firecracker.
The buyers are losing.
The
Sellers are losing. One of them.
In this case, the buyers are losing. We're not calculating for multiple places, so we really wouldn't just use buyers or sellers, but you can use the up move and see that somebody's not strong, okay? We usually use the word buyers or sellers losing when we're comparing multiple areas to each other. For example, if I was comparing this and that. Okay, but let's go back. There's a real strong word. It starts with an L. That's the perfect word for this up move. And I teach you guys how to do it. How do we do it? What's the word?
Low demand.
Low demand. I mean, it's low. It is the type of low demand, but there's another word for this. It starts with L. Lack of interest. Good job, AR. You got it. AR got it. Lack of interest. What that means is that when the up move happen, nobody's interested in it. Here's the down move. Nobody's interested in the down move. I mean, in this up move. Okay? Nobody's interested in it here. So the down move still resumes. How do you make money in a downtrend? Two ways. Let's hear some. How do you make money in the downtrend? How do we protect ourselves in a downtrend?
Hunt the up move.
Hunt the up move. Every time there's an up move, you're more likely to be right. If all you ever did was hunt the up move, and short is the other way. Because you could protect your wealth by just getting out of any bullish market, but you can short things and try to make some money because markets trend generally down longer. Or sorry, they move down faster than up moves. Historically, for every market. Up moves generally last longer and down moves are shorter but faster. Okay? So it's not time to buy Bitcoin. It's still time to hunt these moves, and the volume gives us almost all the information we need to know. It's telling us, hey, we're not interested. Wrong way. And isn't it wonderful to know when you're going the wrong direction? Okay? When the market is traveling in the downward, you can see easily in the down moves, the volume keeps increasing. Here's the next down move. The volume is increasing. So it keeps telling a story. The harmony is bearish. Harmony. The market is bearish. So Bitcoin, we only can really think one way about Bitcoin based on the data. And that's bearish, shorting. So you're looking. Now, why this is important is because remember what happens in Bitcoin generally happens to the whole market. So if you didn't have USDT.D, if you only had Bitcoin, you got almost 90% of what you need to know about the markets. Where's my crypto going, Jason? You didn't cover my crypto today. You did a lot of all these other cryptos. I don't know where the other cryptos are. It's great for those maps, but you already know where most of the market's going based on these. When I start seeing Bitcoin going up, but the volume's coming down, it's going the wrong way, especially if the downtrend is still in play. And it's still in play until where? Until there. Until it hits. And that goes down even lower too. It lets us know when it's time to stop shorting. Start looking to take profits. The sharper moves are more immediate shorts exits, but we pay attention to those upwards for when it's time to start shorting again. Make sense? All right. So the harmony is bearish for Bitcoin. Any questions? This is a daily chart.
Sorry, I've been gone a bit, and so I'm just jumping in and out. I'm so sorry if you reviewed this already. The strong event line that just got broken below last 3 candles that you showed longer.
Oh, okay. Of this chart?
Of the BTC, yeah, the one that was the bottom event line, the stronger one on the weekly.
Oh, okay. Let me show my lines. Okay. Oh, you mean?
Teaching us about the candles.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be on the other chart then, right? Oops. Let me move this back. I moved that. BTC on the index.
Sorry,
Okay.
you guys might.
All right. This one.
Yeah, but on the weekly, it was really like
Clear?
good and-
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So that I can't remember if it's the green line or the teal line. I was just while you were talking, went to TradingView and was trying to see if there was that foundational line, if it had one from if you could clone the line and put it on top and that move and create like a DP. Am I doing that wrong?
You mean the DP from here to here?
Not the red line. It's either I think it's the green line. That's really long. The long.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one. That's a good question. Can we DP, now that we're under here, can we DP that? What do you guys think? Yes or no?
If that green line, can that go on top where the red line is? Is that the same angle?
It's not the same. It looks like it's not exactly the same, but it still fits the criteria. If I take it up to the top core, we hit the wick exactly on December 16th. So even though the angles do deviate, they do show signs that the oscillation is active, okay, with 2. So if I were to do like that, I fulfill the requirement for a stronger DP. When we have evidence that we are oscillating, and in this case we do, the evidence is that we're oscillating between here and here. We hit it, come down, hit it, come down. Now we don't necessarily always need to come down. I like to have at least 2 on both sides. I love that. If I only got 1, okay, but I put more weight when I'm actually oscillating. So in this case, do we fulfill it, the requirement? Yes, we do. What can we do? We can take the distance and put it to the downside. To do that, we simply will need to just measure. So we're going to measure, and that's a good catch, Alex. Fantastic. I'm going to take the distance, bring it to the downside, and I'm going to just save some time by clicking in place up here. Take the actual key angle in green, and we're going to just bring this up. And now it's no longer a KA, but a PA, phantom. Oh, I'm sorry, DP. And now I'm going to bring it up and bring it to today's date and click it in place. So if I had to think about this going to the downside, what I would be expecting, worser case, we're looking closer to 43,000. That's if price were to fall tomorrow. Now, I think it's more going to be falling to the next vortex, which is sometime in the fall, sometime here in February or April. So we'll just give it an average of March. Okay. So come March, we may see Bitcoin closer to 40,000, which is actually 50,000. Okay. So I'll bring up these numbers for you here to the left side: 52,806, 47. 743, and now this makes a more compelling case it makes more of a compelling case, okay, for this particular area rather than just being on its own. So let's bring that closer. I'll also place on this board the 30s, so you guys have the vortex over here, which is where all these older lines meet together as well. That's the bottom parabolic, which is a strong case as well. And all of that is closer to the 30s. Now, those are not in place, so I'm not calling those publicly yet, but you have them on my board if you want to know. Jason, a big crash happened. Bitcoin fell to 3,000, 38,000. You've had those numbers for a long time now, months. 34,274. So we've already done target system many months ago, letting us know about these things, or a long time ago at least, over a month. And now you'll have them on the board. So there's a vortex, and here's a vortex. So all those are on your board. We'll bring them up into play when it's time. Okay. This one's hit already, so we can delete that one. I'm in the camp of bearishness. Any questions, Bitcoin? I know I spent a lot of time talking about these things. I'm glad you guys are learning these principles. Going once. Okay, so let's go. Jason, question here of what takes priority. X says, what takes priority is the current market weakness short term or more fundamental? And if short term, which trend lines, DPs, etc. has priority? X, that's a kind of a deep question. I'm going to refer you to my page. Hold on. And I'm going to put it in the chat. I'm going to refer you to the 4 market reports because they give you a good thing. I am not under the impression that this is temporary. I would say the wrong move for the entire market since October is the up moves. Anytime the market's going up, it's the wrong direction. So in my previous report, I did a specific letter discussing my thoughts in the whole market. This was from November 26th. Read my letter here, my thoughts. And then I give one more long take. Here's the free market report. It lets people know how. So these are all the updated links. 1 through 5 really, because 5th was hidden. Okay, it was the bullish weekend. And I want you to listen because I talk about this bullishness as it's very temporary. And you don't have to agree with all my assessment, but it's just scroll down on our website. I'll even copy it right now. Copy link. And it may give you can go through, if you choose to agree with my take, fine, but it may change your whole perspective. And with that, I'll end for Bitcoin's report. I think that a lot of you guys are chomping at the bit. I'm getting emails, a lot of notifications saying, Jason, I want to buy, when you really need to be thinking about shorting. I'm putting myself out a limb just like I did in October. The bearish move is just getting started. I've been screaming crash since October because of the territory. Not crash, but I mean, it is a crash, a type of what people think is crash. It's not the crash, the one down to zero. I don't think that's now. I think that's going to happen after $1 million Bitcoin. I think that $1 million Bitcoin is not on the table. I will let you guys know personally when I see, and publicly, when I see the game change. Until then, every time there's an up move, until the game changes, I'm like, rest. I'm ready and chomping at the bit to short, which started again yesterday and on Saturday. And today, even, there's still opportunities to start shorting, and there's another opportunity to short. So all of you guys really should start practicing shorting. If you've never shorted before, probably want to try it. If not, don't expect to make money. If I tell you guys, give you false hope or something that I don't see in the data, I'd be lying to you, okay? I'm not a person who lies, so I'm not going to be telling you, and maybe I've told lies in my life, but you have to repent if you tell a lie. Tell the truth. Repent strong because we don't want to lie. I would be lying to you if I told you, hey guys, the market's going to be buying. I'd be just wearing my Bitcoin t-shirt. I don't care where the market goes. Personally, I really don't care. I just care about trying to do the best I can with the data and interpret the data. Because remember, Joseph had dreams. Joseph interpreted a dream from the king of both famine and abundance. And he needed to do something during the abundance time, and he needed to do something during the famine time. Both were opportunities to make wealth. He made wealth during the time of abundance, and he also did some special things with that seed money during that time. And there was also a great time of famine. And he did some things to really make a lot of money. Remember, all Egypt sold themselves to Pharaoh except for the priest of Egypt. That's what the scripture says. He made a lot of money during the famine. There's a reason people keep prophesying that our community is going to be making a lot of money during some kind of bear market. They see a shorting. There's a reason I had my first dreams were of a big crash. There was reasons why I keep seeing on myself captaining a ship and dream twice, captaining a big ship and a yacht, and bringing up to the top of the water slide and sliding down multiple times. There was a dream that I had years ago about the big airship, some kind of military airship thing. There's reasons why we more specialize in bearish markets. I've called myself a little bit of a bearer of bad news for many years. When people are screaming crypto, and I'm saying, guys, I don't see it. Check my old videos. Most of the seasons, it was just bearish. Ask Superfood. He knows you. He'll tell you. Ask Triple J. Ask Firecracker Michelle. Camino remembers. There's a time when we cannot be blinded by our greed if your data is saying something else. Now, you can say, I don't agree with your data, Jason. Okay, sure. That's fine. At least draw your lines. Okay? Use your system. I use Elliott Wave. Okay, we'll check Elliott Wave. But I would encourage you to become less bullish the markets during these seasons and get comfortable. Final thing I'll say, and then I'll end the video and I'll do some cryptocurrencies. And we'll do another video, a short one. In the Bible, in Jeremiah, the Lord tells the people, and this is going to be found in Jeremiah chapter 29. And let's read just a little bit because there's a very important principle. Okay, in Jeremiah chapter 29, we'll read from the English Standard Version. It's kind of easy to read. He says, this letter was sent by the hand of Elisha, son of Shaphat, Gemorah. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, to all the exiles on whom I have sent into exile from Jerusalem to Babylon. Build houses for yourselves, live in them. Plant gardens, eat their produce. Take wives, have sons and daughters. Take wives for your sons, and give your daughters in marriage, that they may bear sons and daughters. Multiply there. Don't increase. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. Hear me out. This is a biblical principle. I don't want to hear your Bible. Hear the Bible. It says, multiply there, don't decrease, but seek the welfare of the city which I sent you into exile, and pray to the Lord on its behalf. For in its welfare you will find your welfare. For thus says the Lord of hosts, God of Israel, do not let your prophets and your diviners who are among you deceive you. Do not listen to them. Do not listen to the dreams that they dream, for it is a lie that they are prophesying to you in my name. I did not send them, declares the Lord. For thus says the Lord, when 70 years are completed for Babylon, I will visit you. How long? 70 years. 70 years. I will fulfill to you my promise and bring you back to this place. For I know, and everybody quotes the scripture, Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, plans for good or for your welfare, not for evil, to give you a future and hope. Everybody knows that scripture and quotes it, but they don't know the context, the principles here. Then you will call upon me, and I'll come to you, and I'll hear you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I'll be found by you. I'm going to fast forward, because then he talks about then restoring them during this time. He says, hear the word, okay? Now, what was going on at this time were, and you can read this, the next passages, where they would say, no, we're not going to stay here. It's going to be short and we're going to go. But what God was saying was get comfortable. Because what would happen in the next chapters is they were having dreams and they were all like, no, God says it's time to go. And they were making these big public prophetic announcements saying, now is the time, now is the time. But what happened was it wasn't the time. The time was for them to get comfortable. But they didn't want to. They were, and there's a time when we can even prophesy out of our greed. Sometimes we can. We can encourage ourselves to have dreams, and we can do that. And here it says in verse 29, the word of the Lord concerning, send to all the exiles, say the Lord concerning Shemaiah son of Nilam, because Shemaiah prophesied to you when I did not send him, and he made you trust in a lie. Therefore says the Lord, behold, I will punish Shemaiah, and he will not have anyone living among his people. He shall not see the good I will do to my people, for he has spoken rebellion against the Lord. What was the rebellion? Because he had said, oh no, God showed me this, and we're going to have this great time of a boom, and we're going to get out of here. Okay? He even said all of this stuff would happen. But they were prophesying wrongly. And they have done that. And it was their time for punishment. Okay? He was saying because they have done outrageous thing, they have committed adultery with their neighbors' wives. They spoke in my name, lying words. I did not command them. And I'm the one who knows. I'm the witness. There are times when we need to get comfortable in the seasons. As I said, find wives, have sons and daughters, find wives for your sons, give your daughters in marriage. We just read it. There are times when you need to get comfortable with the season you're in. But I just want it to be over. I just want to make, why do you want it to be over? You want to make money now? See, do you see how it appeals to our greed? I think sometimes there's reasons why God allows the markets to go down, even if he prophesied long-term stuff about certain cryptos. I think they'll do well in the future, but I think it also is a great test. I think there's a reason why God allows Josephs to fall down into the, I'll say it again. I think there's a reason why God allows the Josephs to fall into the well, to fall into Potiphar's house, and to fall into the prison. Why does God allow them to go into these lower places? Because there's a testing of your character. Is it possible God's allowing all these things to test your character? I think so. It's very possible. I want you to be ready and understand the seasons that you're in so you get comfortable and you prosper there. You thrive there, even in that place of your famine. Because Joseph was able to prosper in the famines and in the abundance. Will you? I hope so. All right, guys. Let's get into some cryptocurrencies. Let's end this part of the video. This will be a separate video. Thank you. God bless you. All right. We're back for our third session of today. We did our WordRoom. We did our Bitcoin take further bearish markets. You guys will see those images uploaded today after the message. I'm going to do a few cryptos based on some of the requests that we have. Alex says that was awesome and sure helpful word. Embrace the season that you're in. Amen. Let's take some requests. I'm going to spend about an hour trying to do some of you guys' charts. And that's about all I got for you guys after that. The first crypto we're going to look at, let's see. Somebody wanted me to do Telcoin again, but we did it the other day. So I'll just show which I got, and that'll be the first one, and then I'll do what your requesters are in the chat. Telcoin. This past week, we drew this foundational line. We talked about this larger parabolic And my thoughts were, in today's video, we described the pushing volume and losing condition of the sellers, which means they are not able to suppress the price at the challenge area of 6.8. This means we'll be looking for a different top higher. Also pushing this area tells us where we should be oscillating higher. Thank you, son. In September 8th, long term should be bullish. However, it's probably more appropriate for price to build on a strong support. Price to build. Currently, I'm looking for this to come down towards 0.26. So we already came down to that 0.26. You can see that. Price update November 10th. Prices come down to 0.26. November 10th, price hit our lower support. However, the small buyers shown have signs of absorption have not yet taken place. This third challenge to this general support area means that it's less likely to form a large up move and likely to build to the downside. So less likely to form a large up move, more likely to build to the downside is where I'm at in November 10th. And that's going to be closer to, let's go to the daily chart. That's going to be about right here, just before this up move, right? So we up move and came right back down to that area. This up move, I wasn't expecting too much, except for I'm not looking for this to last so strongly just yet. And price really took advantage of this up move. We're going to see if it's on strong volume. Otherwise, and yep, it is on strong volume. So that's a good sign that we can try to continue. Now, I love these ones that are weak or in a weak market if you are bullish, because when you get that pushing volume on those days, it gives you time to buy it if you're in the market to buy something. Now, I'm not in the market to buy something, but if I was, I would love a move like that, because other than that, we can still try to make our moves up to the higher areas. The problem is, just because we're on the side of health doesn't negate what the market is doing. Let's take a look and see if we can identify quickly, before we go on to the next chart, see if we can identify how far and how high price is supposed to go. Can anybody try to calculate it for me? I'm going to draw this real quick on my screen, the previous one for Telcoin. You can say, hey, song, price is on a support. See, we're on that support that you just drew, or you had on your other map. Yes, but how high is price supposed to go if we come up here, so that I have time to buy it? Because I don't want to chase the candle if I can buy it cheaper, but I also don't want to chase it at all if I'm not supposed to buy it. How high am I supposed to go? Somebody explain it to me, please. Good. X drew that one. He drew a line which is the same angle. You can, and then we can DP that. That's one way we can view that, and you might be right. What's another way we can draw? What's the more immediate place? Somebody drew a flat here. That could be, and that could be part of a hidden valor. If we get to there, we'll be looking there. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Christian drew it. Now look at the angle Christian drew. He drew this angle here. Now, is this angle the same as this one? Thank you, sweetie. Yes or no? Yeah, Moira, I can do that too. Is this the angle the same? No. What is this angle? In green. What is this angle?
More like a foundational line.
A more foundational line, yeah, to the downside. To the downside, we're checking the tops, and to the upside, we're checking the bottom. So it really wouldn't be a foundational line, but it is. It does have a name in our art. If we are broken to the top side, based on that, there's one important thing we have to calculate for. What is this line? It starts with an E.
Event line.
Event line. It's the last event that took place before the health. Okay, so we have to calculate for it. Event line lets us know that we have to place it in the highest place and duplicate that angle, and it lets us know when something new is happening or where we're supposed to go. So if I break open, I'm looking to get there. The problem with this event line is that the event line is much larger than these two places. It actually has verifications in the past. So the event line is very wide. Where am I supposed to place this event line? Good job, X. Where do I place the event line? How do I do it? It's real easy. Somebody place the event line for me. Good, that's right there. The highest energy center in this area between the event line is where it's most appropriate. Everything else is just a reverberation, less likely to hit, but also worth sometimes noting. But at a basic sense, all we do is take the angle that we calculated for, okay, the event line, bring it up to the top, and now conservatively we can make a calculation that if price goes to the sky, we should be looking to get there, right to the top. That's where you're going. All right. Now in the past, they were together. Currently, they're two separate, possibly two separate events, or based on the average candle range, it's possible we can hit those or both. Okay. So really, has something really new happened? Not really. Okay, not really. We may still be oscillating now simply between this range. Okay, is the downward line still in play, or is the flat still in play? Possibly, if there is a flat. But this is still in play. So I got to be real careful. Now what it translates to in the market is something like this often, and then I can draw and hunt a move. So I'll need to be looking possibly for that to let me know that, hey, I'm going to be looking to come back down to either sword cut or fall down the mountain or even lower. And the volume can help us reveal more. But right now, I'm letting you guys know, based on event line, it has not been hit. So we're going to put event line on the board so you guys have it. But that's what I was trying to get to. All right, so let's quickly draw that event line, which we should already be on the board. Okay, no, it's not on the board. We're going to draw it right now. I'm going to try to get the averages, and I'll keep it in the color of the tutorial so you guys have it. I'll use this green, clone it out, and put it there. So now I have a more appropriate top in these areas. Okay, all right. Any other questions? This is still going to be more weight and confirmation that we're looking to get here before we start looking to be any kind of bullish. Okay, event line. But once I pass the event line, how much money is to be made up there? Very little money. Very little money. So this is why, and in a bear market, this is probably going to be the fish swimming against a stream. It's great if you get it, but be aware there may not be much money. If I had to buy something, is it in a good spot? Yeah, there's still bullishness, but right now it's like a fish swimming against the whole market. I've seen lots of cryptos that were in bullish health lose their health because the market was bearish during that time. Okay, so something I want to keep an eye out for. The foundational area still in play. A lot of reasons on why we still got to be careful with this. If I was trying to make money, there's very little money to possibly be made from 7.5 to 0.91. But from today, there's something if you are bullish today. How could we be bullish today? Let's pull up the daily chart volume and let's go to a 12-hour and 6-hour volume chart. And if I was trying to give myself a short-term health, that's one health. The next would be somewhere here. So if I was trying to buy it, maybe just wait till you're there. Okay, this event line will be a flat, so it'd be looking to only take there, and that's going to give me some emphasis right about there. I'll put that number on the screen so you have it. Any other questions going once? Any other questions going twice? Telcoin. All right, next crypto. So I'm going to Telcoin. Bullish in a bearish market, use caution. Okay, be very cautious of bullish cryptos in a bearish market. Generally, they're the one fighting against a storm. It makes it harder for them to prosper or waste your time sometimes. DOT. Okay, weakness. Okay, all right, uptrend, downtrend. Uptrend or downtrend?
Downtrend.
Downtrend. How do we make money in a downtrend?
Look for the up move.
Look for the up move. This is how the up moves work. It works like a clock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The up moves count like this, but eventually they start becoming flat. I drew this all the time for you guys. Okay. So the up move eventually even becomes a down move. And they still qualify in the same category. when price is trading below those areas. Currently, those up moves are real sharp. Then they start becoming flat. The reason I'm pointing this out is because, in my opinion, the larger flat that has been here, let's maybe on a 2-week chart, you can see it. The larger flat that's been in place here, the parabolic that may have been our support based on 1, 2, 3, and placed at the lower energy center in the foundational areas. This is where the phantom, this tells me the oscillation is here primarily. So what the heck is this? What am I looking at when price is here? Below all of those areas. What's this now?
That's weakness.
It's weakness. That's right. So if you're weak, you're looking for this to continue falling. Now, all of you guys should have known this. How soon should we have known this? We could have known it back in a few months ago, in October. What was October telling us? It was telling us a very simple thing. Up move. Okay? It was telling us this large up move. And this was weakness entering. Okay? That was one way we could have known that. We could have saw the volume, and possibly maybe the volume was going to be telling us we're going the wrong way. I don't know if it was telling us. We could have saw during the... We can now see in the volume 3 challenges, and it's going to let us know if we're going to be more likely breaking to the high side or the low side. We already put that on the board from our previous maps. But if I looked at the volume, let me check to look. We see large. First, let's show this. I'm gonna hide all my lines because this is really important. If I was looking at dot, and what is all this up bars into a weakness on high volume? What does that mean if I have these up moves? But the up moves are in really high volume. What does that mean generally if those moves are into weakness individually? Anybody know what that might be? I'm not talking about the relationship between these two. I'm talking about individually. What is that when you see it on high volume? High volume into weakness on the up move.
Selling.
Selling, professional selling. Remember, professional selling has to happen on which bars and what moves? Up bars, up moves, and up trends. That's when the professional selling has to happen. This is basically dumping. They're dumping here. So this is whoever's having supply, they're getting out and they sell to those lemmings. They're thinking the market's going to go up and they're saying, thank you. And they're dumping you. And they get another chance here. Now, the increase of this bar lets me know in the future, if we were in those territories of health, we'd want to pay attention. But right now, none of those territories are active at the moment. So we're not worried about that. But in the future, I might want to pay attention here. Now, if I go back up there and I see the volume high, once I'm there in the future, then I'll know I'm going up to the sky. But that's for a different day. Okay, right now, that's not in play. Okay, only the thing that's in play right now is the volume at the low. So we challenge here multiple times, and we can look at the volume in these areas to see if we're beating the supply. So here's the volume. Let's do just a quick check to see if we're in the wrong direction. A, B, C, D. We can see we're at somewhat of a high volume here, got a low volume, so there's another chance for a big bull move. We come down again during the last bearish market. The volume is somewhat increasing, and we challenge again, and the volume is somewhat the same, equal. We come down here and do a large test, and the volume reveals a lot of volume. And so we come here. Now, if that move up was on lack of interest, that'd be great. But in this case, it's not. We have one single up move on very high volume. Let's zoom in on that move and talk about it, because that's really important. We're talking about this day of November 3rd. November 3rd tells us a very important piece of information. Okay, it's this bar. Here's a 2-day chart. And let's go to a daily chart. And there it is. What is this large up move on very high volume telling us in context? Okay, in context. So we know in context, there's something very important here. There was a very large flat. Remember that, large flat. And now we have this large up bar on very high volume. Somebody tell me what this was in context. So we know, do we chase that bar? Wow, do you see it went up 200% in a day? It went up 50% in a day. And I get calls like that all the time. Did you see how much it drove? I don't care how much it moved. I just care where it's at. I care what it's telling me. I care the context. Tell me the context. What's the story behind it? Okay? It could be high volume. It could be low volume. This is an example of one of the high volume ones. What is the story? Somebody tell it to me. Nobody?
It's weakness.
Why is it weakness? And yes, it is weakness, but why? AR.
We have round action underneath the support there.
It may act like round action. We could see the round action after. The whole thing could be round action, but it's a weird shape. So I wouldn't expect anybody to know that's round action.
I'm just thinking of the old thing you used to draw.
Yeah.
You know, the U up and downward.
Yep.
That's just going down.
Overall, it is that. It's a weird shape that's wonky to see, but if you caught, that's good. You wouldn't. But you don't need all of that, even still. There's one more way to view it. AR, what do you got? How do we know this is a weakness?
Could they have been trying to push it above and they couldn't sustain it?
It's a little simpler than that.
We're trading below that line.
Trading below the line. That's one big factor. The context is, hey, we're in the wrong place. Okay? If we were going to buy, we need to be looking here, right? And maybe some health. We're in the wrong place. First of all, we're not even in the same, we're not even in the right arena, right? We're not even here. So why are we thinking about buying? So that's one. So people who chase these candles, they're more looking so closely, but they're not seeing what's really happening. Context is that this is a bearish territory already. So number one, this is already bearish territory. Number two, what else do we see? And what do we got? What is the volume telling us? Somebody explain this bar. Why is there high volume? What is happening here?
Selling.
Selling. Yeah, it is selling. That's right. It is selling. But why is it selling? Logically, why is it selling? And how do we know it's selling? Huge suppression. Yes, I don't use that word huge suppression. I would if I saw a large wick coming down, I would look at that. Maybe as suppression. This has some wicks. Maybe there's some pressure. It tried to push above. Maybe, like AR said. Yeah, X. But there's another reason why we simply know this is selling. Okay.
The volume.
The volume. Yes, the volume. What about the volume? I gave you guys the answer earlier. Selling has to happen on what? Yes, Angie, that's right. It's a type of take profit zone. Why is it there?
Up moves.
Yeah. So selling
happens on.
That's right. Professional selling has to have it on up moves, up bars, and up trends. What is this? It's an up move. Yeah? And then we stop exactly there. Large up move. Okay? Once we're in here, we know that the territory is bearish, right? So we know the bears are in power. So this is going against the stream, right? This is the up move going against the storm. How do we trade that up move? If we were taking that in context, it's very simple. Let's go down to a 12, and then we're going to go to a 6, and then I'll go down to a 3 just to save some time. Okay? Already at a 6, we can see it. Here's a 3-hour chart. Here's your up move. So again, we already know the bears are winning. So after those days, once we start getting here, how do we make money in this trend? We hunt the up move. Quite simple, right? Here's a large up move. There's a weakness. And here is that up move we were looking at. 1, 2, 3. Get out. You guys got it? This is a zoomed in microscopic version, a 3-hour chart of that from November 10th, right? November 7th through 10th, somewhere around there. Okay? This is that. You guys got it. Almost everything you need to know is on this chart. The volume was telling them, the volume was saying they're selling. And the reason they're selling is because this is the best price to get out before time's up. I'm going to say that again. If you missed buying, you were like a large dealer. You have a lot of crypto in here. And you see this, it's screaming in your face, whoa, wrong way. You hit the grass, you're going to take action whether you're getting in profit or not. Whether you're making money or not, you may have been trying to be bullish. These guys are in pain here, but they're like, okay, it's nothing that hasn't happened before. We've been here before, right? Yeah, we have been here before. So they're okay. These guys are like, no, it's fine. We bought here. We may be down. We may be losing some money, but we've been here before, right? Yes, we've been here before. See, this is how the emotions that they feel. This is psychology. But once we start entering here, all bets are off. Oh my gosh, this is where these guys can't take it anymore. They get out. This is where anybody who's really high, they start getting out. And you're going to see it show up in the volume. High volume up bars. Another way it can manifest itself is lack of interest. But that means that most of the players are already in position. In this case, the high volume is the last dumping before the fact. The flooding the market with supplies, even both retail, who may be smart and jumping the ship, this is them jumping off the ship. This is the Titanic sinking, everybody's panicking, and they come up and they say, hey, why is everybody coming up to the deck here? And everybody's panicking, and then the crew comes out and says, oh, it's okay, go back to sleep. It's just a minor malfunction, and they're hiding the truth from you. The ship is sinking. All right. When you see those up bars in the wrong locations, warnings should be going off in your head for every crypto, every market. Got it? All right. Let's see if we can see more of that today. By the way, let me give you a location where we're probably getting to. Let's see. If we're falling and I was a betting man, I would probably bet the DP down. Man, that's one location I might get to. Let's use this one. $1. Current price, $1.98. Let's give you another one. That'd be the DP between this oscillation. And let's take we'll measure it. Do I have any other questions before I move on? Because I'm going to put this on the board. Okay. Questions going once. Questions going twice. I hope you're learning things here about the principles that your eyes are constantly experiencing, but you may not be consciously observing. Draw the next foundational move. Draw something more local. Wick match. Let's borrow this one. If price falls tomorrow, I'm looking to fall to 151. The money that's on the table for this short that's already in progress is closer to 30%. So still 30% to the most local bottom here. I cannot do targeting system because we've never been here. We can do circle projection. We're not going to be doing circle projection just yet in order to confuse some of you guys, but we would want to do the circle projection, and it would probably just eyeballing it, where we're going to be getting to would be looking closer to the lower side. So I would be looking more to the dollar range, okay, based on current projections. Okay, so somewhere down closer to the dollar, I think we're going to get a lot of good meat there. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. You're welcome. Let's move on. All right. So DOT bears closer to $1.50 and $1.
Did we finish BTC by?
Yep.
I see.
Don't worry, I got a public report. I'll put the public thing, okay? All right, we filmed a special video all about that. Next one, Ethereum. Let's go to Ethereum. All right, what do we got here? November 12th, the commentary from October 25th has mostly been completed in the sense that the targets were hit. Weakness has been revealed and the pink line did not hold. We also did not see crazy drop. All is according to plan. The next things to look for based on the last volume is a move to the challenge area 49 to 44. And what this reveals equal to volume. This means more players are still willing to part with Ether at the blue line. Look possibly for one more challenge, one more up move, possibly a climactic move, possibly a high up wick. Then look for further targets to the downside. The time will come to short this. It's just not yet. So as far as November 12th goes. Okay. So now we hit the upward blue line, and now is the time to short after these days. That was closer to, wait, what is that? Oh, okay. I'm talking about, what is this on a daily chart? Okay. All right, so here's our weakness. We got our down move. There's our last up move. That would have been already a time to short, and another time to short is now. Okay, so that would have been done. And this would have been now. Okay. So our next target is here. A big drop. 21,000 to 2140, 1983. Current price 2,727. All right. So all of that is in play here and here now. So this is where we're at. So I'm going to be looking for this to continue going down. Parabolic is still the primary dominant move in play, so that's the major weakness that's in. Okay, so we don't need to draw any really new maps for that one. Yeah, it looks like there's a vortex closer to the bottom of near this one. Let's bring this a little bit more closer to today, and then I'm going to put the word vortex on here. Call out. Vortex. Okay, so you guys can pay attention to it. It is closer to the 1,721. We might be seeing that in play. That's another thing we might be looking for. And these are all done, so we don't really need these. This is your event line, okay, but it's also a phantom based on the key angles here. Okay, so if I was drawing this upward line and I was drawing these ones, they're both one and the same. So if this is a weakness, I'll be paying attention to this. If we're still in this weakness, we're going to be looking for all of this just to possibly give us a good backup support, and that's around 1,700. Now that's a very dramatic drop, but again, if USDT.D has a lot of that room from our report, a lot of room to grow. And if the next one triggers, the next weakness triggers, which is almost going to trigger, possibly even this week if we get a close above there. But if it triggers, then we're going to be looking for a large down move. Now, one of the things we can see about this, yes, the parabolic, but guess what? We also got another sharper accelerant we need to draw. It's going to be from the top down. So we're going to stretch that out, and I'm going to bring it about there. And I'm going to fade this away just a little bit, and I'm going to draw one more to compensate for these two. So I'm drawing these two together, and now that's three. So I have two different colors, and it's going to look like these angles. I'll give you to them the numbers to them, and so you can see that we're accelerating down lower and lower. Okay, so based on, and I'll draw this here for you guys can see it. Based on here, oops, and here, and based on here and here, we can see this acceleration. So this is our verification that we're doing it right. This is our verification that we need to be paying attention. And these will tell us a small health, but you be careful so you don't go back down. The real health is probably when they're more closer together like that, it's going to be above this. When they're farther away, like later on, they're treated as two separate events. So we have to worry about that. We have to think like that. All right, any other questions, Ethereum? Okay, everything is still the same except for those lines. All right, pay attention to where we're most likely going. In fact, because this is a bearish territory, I'll wait to draw the next big target on the board down here until we have that USDT.D clear. We clear above the next big area. Ethereum going once. Ethereum going twice.
Is something you'd short?
It's a little late to short this one, but yeah, it's something I'd short. I would try to calculate how much time you have left. We got maybe a day before we hit our next big target, but we really need to build above there to trigger the next event. So the shorting is already late. If you guys didn't short Saturday or Sunday, then this short is almost over. So I would be careful trying to short it just yet, but I would look for another close on the daily chart and then try to start looking for more shorts. Triple J has 7, so we may just pop up to 7 really soon. And if you're looking at from here to 7, you still got some room to short. So if you're shorting right now, you be careful over leveraging too much. Come or over leveraging.
Just because I think Bitcoin could bounce to 98 potentially, and then I've got the number 52, so we may see 52k or something.
Okay. Thank you, Ian. Currently, I got 75, just so you know, but you'll see it later on. I'm closer to 75. Now, Ethereum, bearish, no health, next larger targets, 2,140 to 1,983.
I think silver could maybe have a correction from 58, where we're at currently. I'd like to head short at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm expecting it to come down too. I don't know what number, but I know I am expecting it to come down.
Okay, we ready? All right. Weakness, right, from our previous weakness, and then our next trigger would be here, right? That's where our next big weakness. Now, normally I draw these professional circles to make it look more professional, but this is good enough. These are from our previous maps, showing you those important areas, and now they're hit. Okay, so what we're looking for, ALGO, this is a bearish territory. The next big trigger is a really big one. Look at this, guys. Look at how big this is. Round structure, round structure. Now, this is not technically round, but in its overall move, it is round, okay? So, two large round structures. If you get below here, is it a big deal or a small deal? If you get below 13 cents right now in these seasons, big deal or small deal? Big. And why big deal?
It's breaking under that T angle.
Yeah. The real big reason is because, remember, round structures often are need to be paired with a peak. But when you see two round structures together, you got something really important. And the reason mostly that is because round structures are very organic in markets. Generally, during distribution phases, prices will often have this mushrooming effect. Tom Williams and Gavin Holmes talk a lot about that in their book. When the professionals are selling off their holdings, and price will naturally form those. And this is where I got the word organic. And although they didn't say that word organic, this is a word I started implementing a few years ago. Whereas it's like less mechanical. It's more to be trusted than just the general peak shapes, okay, which can be very encompassing. When you see the price overall doing that, okay, pay attention. And that's why in our sword method, we often pair round structures with a peak. But when you see two back to back, it represents natural times when there was natural buyers that came to the market and natural buyers that came to the market. If those moves are broken, generally that means the trend is in. Trend is over. Especially if we're already in a downtrend and we're hunting those up moves. So we would have hunted this move from our previous, and we're hunting this move from our previous. Longer term, shorter term, these moves are already to be hunted. This one and this one. So that's that weekend bounce we talked about last week, right? It was a weekend bounce that lasted a week long. But now, if you're looking for something to short that hasn't really moved, I would look for today's close. Okay, if you're looking for short, something that hasn't closed, I would look for there. You got a lot of safety nets. Here's your accelerants. You got a large foundational area, and then you got the accelerated adjustment line with a point of verification twice. That means if I place it here and here, I'm hitting verifying here. That let me know this angle's more correct. So I got a lot of safety nets to the downside. All of those, especially if I rounded here over the coming month of December, I'd still have a nice juicy down move to be looking forward to. So if I was looking for something to short, this right now is possibly having it. Now, if I was just briefly comparing the volume, if the volume's higher than this previous, at least it's trending more to the downside. So I want to see the volume real quick, and it's high, and even though this one's high, the bounce is very weak on lack of interest. So we're going to be comparing that to something else. This is not trending the best, but it's still aggregately high, meaning they want the down move. Let me see if I can compare this now to another area to see where the volume really lies. Let's go to a weekly chart. I'm going to hide my lines to simplify things. All right. I can't really add this one to these because I still got a little bit to come to the lower side. I do have, however, these areas, 1, A, B, and C. Let's compare them together. A, B, and C. If the volume is trending higher, it lets us know with more clarity or certainty we're supposed to be playing down. By the way, we can draw a large parabolic and even connect it to some places in the past here. So we got a lot of down safety nets for the down move. All right, let's do this real quick. Here it is. A, B, C. We can compare the volume A, B, and C. The volume here is not super high, but aggregately high. The volume here is not super high, but aggregately high, which means overall high. And then here the volume is not super high, but aggregately high. That means that they have not absorbed the supply or controlled the supply in this quadrant. Okay? They have not absorbed. This is for a losing condition. Losing conditions, remember, are 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. They are losing conditions are we're calculating for buyers. Okay, losing conditions, when they are not absorbing, we're going to see an increase in volume. We're going to see equal to volume, or we're going to see aggregately high volume. So that means that they are losing. This is a losing condition. And so because we're calculating for buyers in this sense, the buyers are not able to absorb the supply. The volume keeps increasing. Every time they challenge, they're still army, they're still army, they're still army. They don't lose. And then finally the structure gives in. If the structure gives in, it lets us know they lost the battle. This can be further expounded if you're calculating for the sellers as well, and you can see more directly what sellers are doing. So I'm not using this to challenge here, but I'm just, in its own sense, we got a candle with a large wick to the downside, closed near the middle, on ultra high volume. So this is sellers adding to dumping. Now, sometimes you'll see this happen, but there's no profit taking. But when you see it with profit taking, it's another icing to the cake. So we got the buyers are losing and the sellers are strong. So I'm going to say downside is where it should be. So this is correct. So I'm going to draw a little white arrow showing not harmony, but the absorption gain. Okay, so we're not talking about harmony. We are talking about the macro type of volume. Now we're going to be updating our lessons on volumes to include all that we've been doing in the last few months. So you guys will see that. But for right now, let's bring out some of these lines. We're going to draw the straights and the parabolics, so you have all of what you need. All right. So watch line 2-day chart. There it is. And then I'm going to draw the straight. And I'm going to draw the parabolic. I'm actually going to fade away this straight right here and just highlight the parabolic because I think it's more important. Besides, parabolics encompass almost everything you need to know. There it is. Let's draw it and try to collect as much of these lines as possible. All right, try not to break the rules by going to the core, and I might be able to. Nope, I'm not going to include that wick. Just these wicks. And let's bring it out. I got 2 parabolics. All right. I'm going to draw one more immediate and then leave that other one since I can't put them all together. Let's give this a blue color or purple color. And there it goes. And all of this is just to give me backup support for where that health starts coming in. It's there. So if I see myself phase into that area, which I don't think is going to happen, but if I phased into that area, I would be in health. I don't think that's going to happen at all. I really think what's going to happen is we're going to continue going down, and so I'll give that my solid more, I'll give it another color like that. Okay. No, by today, if you're in a weakness territory, you'll have a more higher degree of clarity, provided your angles are correct. And let's give myself, since I'm doing wick match, let's see if we can fix this angle. And since I cannot confirm this on top, except for with the reverberation, let's see if I can draw myself another angle to just sharpen it up, and then I'll finish. So in this case, I'm going to go to a weekly chart. I'll start with a white line. I'll make it big so you can see it, but I'm trying to stay at the cores, and I'm going to use this core right there, the meaty part of the bottom. And that's going to bring down this angle. And what I'm doing is I'm now bringing this still in alignment with these, cores from the weekly chart in November and October weeks. And that's going to put me here. So I'm going to drop my weakness a little bit further for confirmation. So in my opinion, if USDT.D builds above our current area, this will be a short that I want to take. So how I'm going to trade this is I'm going to give myself an alert. I'm going to draw a line under here from today, just about right there. I'm going to make this kind of thin, and I'm just going to set an alarm for myself by clicking on the line, clicking on the alarm clock button, and I'm going to give myself a message by typing message, and I'm going to say, look to possibly short ALGO. I want a close below the white line, the upper one, white line at 0.129, okay, 1295. If I get a close below that number, especially if significantly, I'm okay. Create. And I'll show that message so you guys can recreate my message if you wanted to, if you guys are going to be looking to short this. And then I'm going to short it to, how far should I short it? I think this is a good place. From here to here, we got a key angle. If I wanted to label that, I can give it a key angle. That means I have 2 points, at least, between these two areas. And then when I bring it down the same angle, and I bring it down to the low side near the meaty part here, that meat touches these wicks pretty accurately. Right there, see? And all the way back to March of 2020. So without breaking my rules, I can also see, on average, if I was being conservative, bringing it up a little bit, I can say I hit wick, core, wick, somewhere around these general areas is going to be more conservative. So I would say if I was shorting, I want to short it down in there based on where it's more likely to find that support. Because once we're below these round structures, it's game over. Most of the weaknesses in the market were probably going to fall deep, especially if USDT.D is able to hit the 8s and 9s. I'm going to look for this to fall hard and fall fast to 7 cents. That means I'll be looking at a profit of approximately 61%. ALGO. So I'll be looking for ALGO to fall in a very big way down there. Okay, I can put a big star if that happens. So if this next weakness occurs, I'm looking for it to go. Do I have any other questions? Okay, I'm going to put my commentary here because this is something I'm of interest. December 1st, 2025.
Would you wait for a weekly close or a daily close?
I would look for the daily close because we're early in the week. If we're close to the end of the week, I'd look for a daily close. If we were later in the week, I would look for a weekly close. Right now, because USDT.D is very close to already hitting its target, my opinion is we'll know it on a daily chart if we're going to hit the next territory in a few more days. Probably Wednesday. We'll probably know. December 1st, 2025, ALGO. This crypto has signs of weaknesses. The next is a close below 0.1295 on the daily chart. I'll make this big so you guys can see it. This close will be of paramount importance because it is comprised or made up of two large round structures. Volume shows we lean more towards the downside by lack of supply, or by the losing conditions of absorption. Okay, so there's no absorption. Supply has not been absorbed. If this close occurs, I will be shorting forwards 0.0779. I will be careful and also watch USDT.D, see current reports for next large up move there. That move will facilitate an easy down move on ALGO. Okay? And that's it. So remember, that large move is very likely to trigger this one when it happens. Again, I'll just show it to you on the screen. This one. If we go from here to there, we're already, move this out the way so you guys can see it. The arrow's blocking it. Okay, we're already almost at 6.4, but once we trigger the next one, it's game on. It's there. You get me there, we're gonna jump. Get me a close there, especially on the daily chart. We're gonna jump to there, to 8%, and that's gonna be a big crash in the market. Okay, so when that happens, if it happens, and Triple J's got 7, so that's gonna be probably gonna hit close, have a day or two, then we're gonna have that move, and it's gonna look like this. Okay, so be careful. This one's already almost done. The up move's already almost done. All right. Back. Got it? Okay. All right. Now, let's go to, did anybody have any other questions? ALGO. ALGO. Look for next short to trigger on daily chart closes below 0.129. 5. Targets are at supports near 7 cents. That's huge. 0.07. This needs to be combined with the USDT.D next move. Okay. Although the move up there should facilitate a close, the current move is a very small move on USDT.D. That should give us, since we're already here, it should give us just enough juice to get a close below there. Okay, after that, we really need to probably expect an up move and then watch for the down move. Possibly. All right. Yen. We're going to yen. And what I'm going to do for this chart is I'm going to draw, this is the Japanese yen as an index. We had a close in October down here. We got a down move somewhat into a positive area right here. So let's take a look. Let's put on the sword cut since we might be on our way back up. Okay, I'll put the number up. It's going to be closer to 65. 65.75 and 65.58. Okay, I'm almost done for today. That's all I got for you guys. But let's finish up. Okay, we might be looking for these moves and bounces back here. If I was trading yen, I would be looking for yen to have a pullback right now. Let's talk about if this pullback should be short-lived. Oh, I don't got volume. There's no real sign that there's any kind of upturn in the momentum. And this is really strong down move still. So if there's an up move here, I'm gonna let for it to be short-lived. Let's take a look. We need to calculate for event line. Event line is going to be the last thing that happens below this weakness. Do you want to do it together? Let's see if we can help Superfood out. We're going to be doing a lot of this chart in our Forex preview closer to December 14th. And I'll give you guys the exact day within a week. What's the last event line for this one? There's 2. Somebody solve this equation. Okay. This is the larger weakness that occurred in October. Where's the event line? There's 2 of them. How can we draw them? It's very important because it lets us know where we should bounce or go down more. 20 seconds. Come on. You can do it. Okay, good. That's one of them. Okay, that's one. Good. And we place it there. Good. So that's what we calculated for. We'll place it here. And so this should tell us currently what about the market? Is that good or bad that we're below the event line? Because this event line was supposed to make us have a, if after this weakness, we should have bounced up here, but we instead traded below it. And now we're below it. So that good or bad? Bad. That's right, X. It's bad. Okay. So we need to pay attention for that. So that's one. That's the event line. Let's try to get it more exact. And I'm going to give you two at the average of these. Okay. So this is generally not a good spot to be, even if it's a little messy, because it's the Forex like a stock. Okay, next, where's the next event line? Where's the next place we're supposed to bounce? We did this one. Where's E2? Remember, we're calculating for this up move. Somebody draw it. You guys got this. You're pros. I believe in you. Good. X got it too. Good job, X. It's that one. Where do we place it? This will be E2. Where do we place it? So there it is. Good job. We place it there. So where's the next bounce supposed to happen? It's already supposed to happen. It's a flat, and it's supposed to happen approximately here. So the event line is basically this one, E2. So I'm going to be looking possibly at 63.5 or 62 to 3. So I'm about to say almost exactly $63 for the yen to give us a good bounce. Okay. So right now we may still be on our way back down. We could say, oh, we hit it. Maybe, technically. And if so, that should be a bounce. But we're also still playing underneath this event line. So that gives us a range of more appropriate for us to play in here, which is more like a delay territory. All right. So I'll be delayed to weakness in my assessment based on this. Okay. I would say we're more likely to get trapped in there. Okay. But pay attention to this 63 number. Now on our board, we already have other areas on the map below at 61, 62. So I'm not going to be bullish anytime soon. If I was bullish longer term, I really want to be bullish there. Otherwise, anything short-lived, and this can get a little dicey in here. I'm going to be looking at 65. I'm going to be looking at 62. And I'll be looking a lot at 63. So those are going to be the three important numbers. Any other questions for me regarding these things? Okay. It's a large multi-touch flat. Come. Event line EV flat. Or we'll just say EV flat. So you also know it's a multi-touch flat. Phantom. Flat phantom. Okay. Because it's a phantom based on this angle. All right. Any other questions for yen? Any other questions for yen? Where the focus is? Okay. Okay, it's very likely we're going to reject in these areas. Be careful trading yen bullishly right now. Another bearish signal will now need to be placed here, and these will need to be split up in two different pieces. All right. Anything else? Okay. My current map would be something like this. Okay. We could go further, but for time, we're out of time today. Okay. Okay. Yen, delay to bearish territory. GALA. All right, GALA is a nice crypto. If you can short it, it's a great type of crypto to short. We talked about this on the other day. Was it before I left? November 22nd. A major weakness may be appearing on the weekly chart. It closed significantly below 0.0078 on this weekly chart is bad news for GALA, but good news for shorting. This has my attention. Remember, this weekend may show a sharp small bounce in the market, but beware, if this move is on falling volume, this is lack of interest. In either case, the weekend will reveal a lot. GALA should not be shorted just yet. This candle is not closed on the weekly chart. When the short trade triggers, I wish to take profits near 35. So this is where we'd want to short. So this was on a very interesting trade. There was our up move that we had from November 22nd. There's our November 22nd. So I said, don't short it just yet. There was our up move. Don't want to short it just yet at that point. And then we got the cut to the smaller time frames. There's your up move. We talked about this in depth, but that was from November 22nd. So this is all complete. So we got a short triggered. Okay, I'm going to write this down. Previous commentary. All right, so this is now, I want everybody to pay attention to the date. Just want to stress that. Okay. So now that we're here in this territory, let's check that weekly chart to see if we got the close. Did we get the close? Yes, we did. There's the close. All right, there's the 2 weeks. There's the week of November 24th. Let's check the volume to see if it was on falling volume. Lack of interest will be very important. What was the volume on? Come. What was the volume on? Let's hear it. Come on. You guys got this. That up move. Did you guys see it? No? The volume is falling. Is the answer. Falling. Look at the falling volume there. See? Do you guys see it? Okay. Falling volume. That's what we're talking about. When you see this bounce on the market, we got the bounce. That was the bounce, right? That was the up move. But it was on falling volume. This is lack of interest. Okay, so this is telling us everything we need to know for GALA. The up move shows we can short it here. Okay, you would have known all of that data then. Okay, you could just see, oh, look, the volume's going down, price is going up. How are we going uphill when somebody took their foot off the gas? It's only a matter of time before you start falling. Pay attention. This happened. This is the kind of stuff we want to pay attention. Okay, we predicted this. And you guys can too. Do you understand? You can read what's happening in real life like a newspaper. All right? You guys can read it. It's not that J-Song's making any of this stuff happen. It's the same principles in the volume over and over again. Even if you're not super good at predicting and you get basic at reading what's happening in context, you know what happens. Now, this is a support, right? So this is, if this is support based on this, what is price telling us if we're trading below here? We're already in the closet, right? This is a very bad thing. So I would feel comfortable shorting GALA, and this is what we're talking about. So let's just update some comments. December 1st, 2025. GALA had closes just as expected. The bounce was just as expected. And the move was also on falling volume into weakness. In this context, we knew everything we needed to know. GALA is weak and should likely fall. So this stacks the odds in our favor. The next large supports may be found at 0.0035. Look for a close of USDT.D above the, and let's get the region. What was it? We need above the 6.64 areas. 6.64 areas to really drive home this move. Okay, Otherwise, beware of any shakeouts. Okay, so for the most part, again, when we finish this up move, once we get those closes above there, GALA should be somewhere already started its move. I mean, it's already starting, but somewhere halfway, maybe even down to there. All right, so I'm going to be looking for GALA. The move on GALA, the profit to be taken, closer to our entry is around 100%. This is crazy. Closer to 100% move for the short side. Okay, 100% move to the downside. Okay, be careful. Okay, be careful. If you have GALA, there's a lot of weakness. And if you're shorting, praise God, you should make a lot of money. I hope you guys do well and continue to make money shorting GALA. All right, any other questions that we have for GALA? Going once. Going twice. All right. GALA, short in progress. Flare. Actually, let's pause for just a moment. The next crypto, as we resume, we're going to be finishing up with Flare, a stock pie in silver. Let's go to Flare. FLR. USD. Okay, it looks like I got one on BitTrue. Okay, we had a small health. Looks like we had our resistance at 16. 016, right? Yeah. Okay, we had our resistance along the track. This is a bearish thing. Let's see what else. We got 3 challenges here. That's going to give us a really high statistical likelihood of what's going to happen next. So let's use this to our advantage. A, B, and C will calculate for buyers to see if buyers are winning, if they're going to be able to drive it up, or if the larger weakness that's in play is going to win. Right now, it looks like weakness is strongly in play. So one of the things I'm going to look at before I look at it, I'm going to be looking at the volume to hit to the higher side. If this volume is on high move, if it's on high volume, especially if we're closing near the middle on an up bar, we're going to be looking at that as a negative selling. Now let's read our commentary because it looks like I might have already done this. Volume is trending for a smaller short-term bullish reversal to the support the VZB of 0.12. So we hit that for the reversal there. We got the small reversal short-term there. Structure on this crypto revealed weakness. This causes concern longer term for higher prices. Again, this is the larger weakness underneath this white area. And no local health, which means there's no short-term health that allows for any bullish trades just yet. This means wait, price is at a decision area. In conclusion, I would not buy this with the small health in the territory shown in the green circle. So this is the big health up here. That's when we would really want to be looking for this to go up. But I would not short this yet because the volume indicates signs of a healthy absorption at this price level. Okay, so even though there's weakness, we saw signs that the volume may not be fully absorbed or may be absorbing, and that means that price can get stuck in here. So at the very least, that would be like a delay. So therefore, I'm more neutral. Let's take a look at the volume now to see if it changed anything. A volume is somewhere about high, about right there. The next, we got some volume that's a little bit higher. We challenge again. We haven't really absorbed. It's still more high. So I'm not looking for a super strong move to the downside. But yeah, it's still the same. I'm not going to give any real new commentary. I don't think there's real reason for us to give any kind of new territory back from November in this chart. So I'm going to say wait for the signal. I don't need these ones. Wait for another signal underneath this line and then take the short. Okay, that's going to be underneath 12. Okay, let's update this for December. For December 1st. FLR. I would look to only short this with closes below 0.012 and short down towards 0.0093. All right, any other questions? FLR.
What if we're just looking to buy the dip? And is it in a bad place or a good place?
If you're just looking to buy the down move, it's in a bad place because of these structures here. And the only support you have is these three. The evidence that you are not strong is the fact that we're bouncing weaker each time. So it's not, if I was trying to buy it, I would try to buy it there at the same place. Either short down to there or just buy it down there. But I would expect it to fall lower or at least, at the very least, delay. But I'm not in delay camp, more so as I'm into bearish camp. So I lean that way. It just hasn't triggered yet. Come. All right.
So in the bigger picture, is that still a healthy place where it's going to go? Or
that place? I don't know if it's a healthy place because we've only hit here once. I'd want to see some kind of either round structure. I'd want to see it come in health. But these moves are very muted. It could be a long time is what I'm saying. Like, even if I come down here, I still have a wide gap before even health really comes in. Plus, I got some of that larger oscillation that can give me, that can come down into these territories that can really make things still worse for us. Like, I'm still in a larger downtrend. How do you make money in a downtrend? Somebody tell me, how do I make money in a downtrend? Up the up move. Where's the up move? Where's the up move? Come on, draw it on my screen, please. Nobody? Draw the up move, please, somebody. Is that it? That's one. There's another one. Nobody? Guys, this is easy. You guys got this. You guys can do this. I want you to stack your area. No, that's not the up move. There it is. Michelle got it. Good job. That's it. That's it. She got pretty close. Her finger might be fat. Okay, but there's the up move. If all you did was hunt up moves in a downtrend, as long as your downtrend is active, is this downtrend still active? Yes. You're still within this down territory. You haven't bait the foundational line. Your foundational line is up there, so you're not short of buying. This is off the table. Really, if anything, you're going to be accelerating. And then that means you got some stuff to deal with before really even going up. But what happens is it's really easy to set the odds in your favor if all you did was just hunt some up moves. What the heck am I doing here? If anything, this is going down. Okay, event line, we should be going lower. Okay, it's not really super complicated. That's why we're going to be looking possibly the old flat. It doesn't necessarily mean we're going to be going up here. It could be a benchmark for the next weakness. But if I would bet when we're going to go up, it'd be there. Pay attention when those moves are cut. They're right in front of you guys' face. It's going to save you a lot of money. There's a lot of people trying to buy this weekend, and I think things are going to get worse. I let you all know my dissertation on the USDT.D situation, but be careful. Be careful out there. It's not for the faint of heart. But you guys who are shorting, you're going to be very successful. In my opinion, I believe many of you guys are going to be very successful. Major weakness in the up move, in the downtrend, supports short-term delay, and supports at, and then what was that support again? Let me put back on my lines. And do my best to try to keep you guys out of a lot of trouble if I can. Okay, if I can. Closer to, is it 0.0093? Current price is 0.013. Okay. I don't always put the current price. Next one, any other questions, Flare? Any other questions, Flare, my friends? Okay, event line, everything's telling us, look here, down there. Okay. Let's go to the next one. We're going to go to a stock, WM.
Just real quick, a lot of us really like Flare and are looking for opportunity to buy it long term.
Okay.
Just so you know that.
Good. Pick the bottom there, in my opinion. Okay, you guys don't have to agree with all my sentiment or anything like that. You can just call me crazy, but at least you have one perspective. If you guys do multiple analysis and you keep coming up with the same perspective, and some of you guys are going to different teachers, and that's okay. If you see multiple overlapping events, draw your attention towards those things. It may be a story unfolding. I like volume. I like the event lines. I like the up moves and down trends. I like a lot of some of the circle stuff. I like a lot of what the pieces. And if the pieces keep telling the same story over again, multi-touch flats, all the ways, if you keep telling a story multiple ways and it starts telling you a story, do yourself pay attention. Okay, if you're looking to obtain it, that's just probably the best spot. But pay attention also. Remember, you're dealing with two different things. Your cryptos could be strong. The market could be weak and take a good crypto and put it in a bad spot. So you guys keep eye on USDT.D, what Bitcoin's doing, that whole situation. If the market is bullish and your cryptos are in a good spot, time to buy. If markets are bearish, your crypto's in a good spot, you may try to bounce. Again, over the years, we've seen so many cryptos that were in a bearish market, but they were good. And they went into weakness, but the market just washed it away. When you're surfing, those smaller waves will get eaten up by the humungadungas that come in. Okay? And those smaller waves, it's almost like they don't exist. It's what happens. You guys can keep out a lot of trouble by I know you guys want to buy some stuff, but you need to be also looking what's really happening in the world. It's going to keep you out of trouble. If you reverse, full steam ahead. All right. Stock. WM. Stock. Okay. What stock is this? I think it's Jeff's, right? My friend? Yeah. Jeff, I got WM.
Hi, Jason. The stock is actually...
is it waste management?
Waste management.
Okay. Got it. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, we may got an accelerant. So it might be a support here. We were waiting for our RSI. Okay, let's see. This is a nice area of support here from our previous. It's going to be there. We fell into weakness based on the smaller up move gesture, and we fell fast to that support. So that's really nice and interesting. I know we looked at this some time ago. What we'd probably look for, we got this down foundational move. Let's fade away some of these. They're not necessary at the moment. Let's draw this a little more professional. Okay, good. Now, okay, let's draw. Let's take a look at this up move. We can zoom in now. Let's go first to since we're on a weekly, let's go to a 3-day chart. I'm going to check the volume. Okay, we're definitely not going up on falling volume just yet. We are going up on higher volume. Let's take the last down move. Strong volume at the support into health. That's a good spot. All right, and there it is. There's going to be another down move here, and I like that shape. Let's go to a 1-day chart now. And I'm going to draw this because I think this is in a better spot. Yep. I like where that's sitting. Okay, let's see if we can isolate some of these. Okay, so this would have been some buying at the support. The move is more immediate into health, somewhere about here, November 14th. And then right now, this high volume here, but if we move into health, that might be a little bit of a push, or trying to get us a push, because it's more into health rather than weakness. The weakness would occur approximately under here. So we're not in weakness yet, and this could actually come down a bit. So I'm not going to view this as selling unless it was into weakness. But because it's into health, this is a push. So this is a positive type of move for this stock. We do have a resistance here that's close, so we will still need to clear that. I don't know if I'd buy it right now. What is the price at? 218, and we got until 226. So yeah, you got a little bit of time. Here's 226, and here's 218. I would probably be waiting a little bit longer. Otherwise, if I have some, I'd probably want to look to take some profits or check to see the action. You may get a good push into that health. Let's take a look at that health one more time. Okay. The move into the foundational area. Let's put a little price note on there to get some exact numbers. These some numbers are all done. So 225. Currently, it's if it goes above 226 today, I don't think that's going to happen today in a single day. But if it did, that's where I'd be looking to start getting some bullish. And then from there, I'll start trading it back up to the top, possibly. That's going to be near the more short one, 256 and 296. The lowest number is here. I hope all of these map numbers help. Any other questions? 190, 198. Still looking overall to go up. Yeah.
Yeah, Jason. So if I'm looking to buy this WM, where should I get it? At 225, or is it any chance of it going down to 2?
The only places I would buy it is right now, today, at 218, and then I would buy it again above 225. I would make sure I get some closes. And this is a weekly chart where they make sense. So maybe close for the week above 225. And then you can add to your position. Yeah. Otherwise, I want to buy, because we already hit our low. And then I don't think this low is in play. I think we're accelerating in the white. Let me check something real quick on my RSI. I want to check to see if I got some good pullbacks. Yeah, you got some nice pullbacks. Really nice pullbacks on the weekly chart, so that's really good. See, price is only pulled back. Price is only pulled back approximately 40%. Okay, halfway would have been about 50%. This is about 40%, maybe even 39. But we'll just say 40%. And RSI has already pulled back over 125%. $125. So this is a very strong pullback for RSI to give a lot of momentum to the upside. So if you're in an uptrend, how do you make money? You hunt the downtrends. This one you can hunt it here, and this is a more smaller one. So again, this is two separate moves, here and now. That's how I would navigate that if that was me. Okay? For the stock.
Yeah, so based on the RSI, there's no chance of it for the price to go down. Means it will have to go up.
There's always a chance of it. All we can do is stack our odds in our favor. If you're trying to look for a down move, we'd want to overall see that this move up is on lack of interest or lower volume, but we see this as on more increasing volume. So there's an interest to the upside in this. Okay. Now the volume's a little wonky because it's more difficult to read. You probably want to use maybe some people who are more professional with money balance index. I think which is a type of trending type of volume. For me, this looks flat, but I can say the up move is on increasing volume into a smaller health. So I'm going to be more leaning towards the upside. I wish it was more clear, but it is what it is.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm trying to look at the one-day chart, and I noticed the volume is actually low. But when you show the 1 week, it's high.
Yeah, the down move seems to be on low volume, and the up move's on higher volumes. The harmony is probably trying to press towards the higher side. Now, we would read this as weakness in context or selling in context if the up move was broken. So if I see the up move's broken, I really have high volume there, and we're in this territory, then this becomes weakness. It's like a word. A word means a and a, or just the word no. We could say the word no. But if I add no way, it really means strong no. And if I say no way will I give in, then it has positive connotations. The more context you have, the more the word actually means something even different than it would. So right now, in its current context, this is the harmony. They want higher prices. But if we wait a little bit longer and we go into this territory on high volume, this becomes a negative thing. So the sounds become the words become sentences, become paragraphs. And that's why people can be taken out of context. And the more context you have, the more we understand the deeper meanings.
Yeah, okay, thanks. One more question. If we say we wait a little longer, what do you mean by longer? How long to... A few days or weeks?
You need to draw this move. If I was giving myself how many candles I can fit in there, I'm going to say it's about right there, December 9th. Okay. So draw your up move and you'll know when it's time. Okay. December 9th. But yeah, take a screenshot of that up move and draw it. If you're below there and you can't maintain your heading above here, you already know that that's a weakness. Then we read it. Okay. Here's weakness. If you're really dissecting it, this is delay right here. Okay. And this continues out. Either way, the larger health is here. That's why you don't want to add to a huge position right now until all of it's done, right? You want to make sure that this is in play. All right. Any other questions? So I was breaking it up. I might draw something like that. Okay. And this is not in play yet. All right. Let's move on. Okay. So I'm going to say very bullish momentum in RSI pullback. Next resistance is 225 area. Next large up move is with closes beyond 225. Okay. Let's go to the last two, Pi Network. Okay, Pi Network. I think I'll look this on MEX. Did I do Pi before? I don't seem to have done this one before. Pi. Okay, I'm going to do this on MEX. And we'll do that one. Uptrend, downtrend. It is a downtrend. How do we make money in a downtrend? You hunt the up moves. And there's your next hunt. Okay, so bearish. Okay. Short. Looking to short again. This might be a good one to short. I like that one. Possibly good opportunity here. What's the last event line? It's a flat. This one's a short one. It should be short-lived because you have wick matches a little bit to the top side. Let's see. Actually, the event line is a little more muted. Wick match approximately there. So this one may find support real soon. So be careful shorting this one just yet. I would look to short it again underneath 21. Okay. Yeah, possibly looking to short again under 21. Okay. Let's draw our foundational line. Ooh, nice parabolic. It's going to give us a good baseline for where the health comes in. So clear signal for when to get out of this. To the high side, it'd be there. La la la. Parabolic to the downside. We got some verification in the past a little bit. Let's make sure there's a lineup though. My son's playing Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary had a little lamb. Little lamb. I'm going to bring this up a bit to the cores. All right, there we go. If the trade triggers below 21, I would like to short this down towards 16. So in the next bearish market, I'm looking for 16. Okay. When that happens, we'll get ready with the short. Okay. That would be very important. Okay. That will be very important. All right. Oops, I got some questions I'm missing. All right. Okay, you guys are talking. Okay, good. Okay. Van Cat's putting some prophetic collection things in there. Okay, good. I think that's about all I got for this stock. Any other questions about Pi Network? That's all I want to do right now for this one. Okay. We can do more things, but this is about where I want to do right now. Okay, going once. Thank you, Arshad. No problem. This might be something worth shorting. I don't know if we can short it, but I would say This short is in progress with support at 0.2164 event line. Next short is a big one if triggered. Below 21.2164, down towards 0.16. Okay, this is parabolic support. Large uptrend hunting, large downtrend with up move being cut is easy to see when to take next trades. Okay. All right. Just letting you guys know some context. It's very easy to take these up trades when they trigger next. Next one's below there. Look for that to come down in a big way. It'll look like that. Okay. It's not exactly on the board just yet because it hasn't triggered, so it needs to be a little faded away. But the one that's currently in progress is already in progress. So that's that one. Okay, down to there. Got it? All right, let's go. Let's go, son. Let's go. Let's go. One more to go. Don't say I didn't ever do anything nice for you guys. Okay, what is the next crypto? I can't read it. Hold on. Unlock. GALA. Oh, silver ETF. Okay. Silver ETF, my friends. We are going to be closing out today with silver ETF. We got 4 videos. I've been with you guys for several hours now. We did WordRoom. We did a USDT.D report. We did a Bitcoin. Some of you guys been listening. Some of you guys are at work. Some of you guys got me in your ear. Thank you for your patience. I'm trying to give you guys a very accurate map of all the things that I see. The markets are keep telling a similar story. More and more bearishness. Get ready to make some money on the way down. Another bearish move triggered Saturday and Sunday. The next bearish move is not far away, and that's a big one. That's going to be the ones that bring us up to 7, bring us up to 8.5, closer to the 9 area. And that's going to be a large drop in the markets, and a lot of people are going to be panicking. Don't panic. Get ready. Get excited. Remember, Joseph learned how to prosper in the famine because of God's wisdom, and God can give you wisdom on how to prosper during the famines or during these down moves so that you guys are successful. Let's find out about silver. Let's pull up a silver ETFs. Now, ETFs should be approximately the same in alignment with the market of silver. So if you understand what silver is doing, you understand what the ETF's doing. I can't tell you, oh, just trade this, because the silver ETF should have a relative same price. If silver's going down, your ETFs for silver should be going down. If silver's going up, your ETF for silver is going up. So I will just going to give you guys the same silver chart that we always do. All right, so we had some previous moves in silver based on this large parabolic here, and we've been showing signs of breaking to the top side. We talked about this back in October, and in November 14th we got another sign to the top side. Those, especially if the volume's on increasing volume, and look at the volume we've had, and this, we talked about this last time we were here. We were showing really strong signs of volume, but look where it's at. It's to the top side. So these challengers are showing us, hey, yes, we are really interested in higher numbers. That's an easy sign that silver should be going higher. So we're looking for silver to go higher. Melody's always, can I sell my silver yet? No, you can't sell your silver yet. Wait a little bit longer until you get next signs of stuff going on. Now, from our previous charts, we got $65 is our next big high. Oh, my phone. Thank you, son. Appreciate you. Okay. We see from our previous maps, we're looking at 65. If silver continues moving into late December, we're going to be looking closer to 65.7. Here's 65.2. And this is basically what we need to know about silver. This is what's going on. Now, there's one more that's happening, and that's going to be this larger, a shorter term accelerated adjustment line. Now, this adjustment line is based on the parabolic, which means we also can DP it. When we DP it, according to the rules of the parabolic, we have to go straight up and down. We can't move it to the left or the right. It throws off your calculation. So move it straight up in the air and then click it in place. So we're going to bring it to the lowest areas in our foundational area, and it's going to give us resistance somewhere along here. So this is sine. And then we can do one more thing with this. We can place it at the highest area, and this acts more like a reverberation. And I'm just going to give you guys both in these areas. Now, since we're already above the foundational area here, I'm going to be more focusing on the extreme, and that's going to again put us closer to 65. But it also does something really important at 65, doesn't it? Does anybody see what it does at 65? What does this do based on the more immediate oscillation? Anybody? Vortex. That's right, Peter. Good job. Vortex. So it's telling us, hey, Jason, we're having two reasons to come down. First of all, that will be a top, and then also there's a larger term top. So this is going to be a very important area to pay attention, especially as we get there. Now, most of the times, and Camino can testify to this, we discussed this for over the years a few times. Some of you guys have been with me for a long time. What happens is as price is approaching those vortex and it passes over those times, those windows of moment of opportunity during the vortex. Does anybody remember what happens during those times? Often, it's very often, even if price doesn't get there all the way. Anybody? Okay. All right, I'll explain to you guys. What happens is price, you guys are quiet now. Price often gets sucked up in these areas. Even if it doesn't go all the way through, be surprised as price approaches vortex areas. It's very common for price to get sucked up into those areas. Now, sometimes they'll suck up all the way to the top side, and that's rare. But when it does, pay attention. If you get closest to that, it means that price is overly bullish. So you want to pay attention to if those things happen. But as it is, if price, you're going to be often looking at vortexes as time to sometimes take profits, time to reassess, time to redraw, and then we're going to figure out from there. So for right now, there's telling us a lot of this is giving us a response at 65. So that's where I'm going to be looking at 65 for my next silver number. Okay, so look at 65. That's going to be the next big important one for silver. So I would be looking for ETFs to continue being bullish until it's then. Does anybody have any questions regarding my silver from our live community, our live dive community? Okay.
If you saw it getting sucked up, or as you see it heading towards that vortex, the next point, if it were to bounce down, would it be that top blue line again, that kind of where it's at right now, or the one below it, or would you look at the yellow parabolic? What would be if it were to come back down,
If it were to come down, this is it was a large oscillation between here and here, and that price was playing. I would say it depends on how long you stay. For example, if it happens all in a single day, it's very possible that this area will still act like a resistance. So it would be like a spike and we can come here. But if I'm able to hit 65 and maintain 65 for 1 or 2 weeks, I might be actually looking therefore at this price, which is near that blue flat, 59 to 57. I'd be actually looking for that to be more of a support than anything else. So let me put this back to where it goes. I would absolutely be looking at something like that to be more of the case if we stay longer. So that's how I'll gauge that. If you stay up there, the longer you stay, the more likely, the more closes people can see. People can say, oh, look, silver. It does something emotional to the mind. It gives you a sense of confidence. Even if it's false confidence, what it does is that it creates a known support and resistance, because markets are moved by emotions primarily. The two fears, fear of loss, fear of missed opportunity. In this case, if you stay above there, it'd be missed opportunity. Oh, silver's still really good. I should get into silver. Okay. All right. So silver, 65. Get me up there longer, then we'll talk about building above there. But right now, I think that's going to be my next big target. Weakness for silver will happen primarily, the first weakness under here, but because we're still primarily above that area, I'm not going to be putting too much weakness on this area alone. So it will be more of a delay to weakness. And then the real weakness will appear when we're back underneath, building possibly underneath this flat. So we'll put one out here just so we can remember that it's part of the flat. The next weakness is of these ones, they continue moving up the chart, so they'll move about right there. And those will be the big weaknesses. This one is the real big one. Okay, although that one can seem sharp, I think 40 underneath 43 would be really weak if it's in near February or January. So 43. Okay. Questions going once. Questions going twice. All right. And that's all I have for you guys today. Remember, everything in this video is never financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. Everything's just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. I eat red crayons for breakfast. Trading the markets carries substantial risk. Never trade more than you can afford to lose, and especially be aware against high leverage trading. Closer to December 14th, we're going to be having our special Forex room. We'll do a preview, and I'm going to show you how it works. It's really quite interesting. I'm still on the hunt for charts with volume for Forex, so if you find some, let me know. Tick volume, let me know, because I can, for some reason, I haven't been able to display it, but we're going to proceed either way in that area. So it'll be free for everyone. You guys can all show up. Our website is going to be here, and remember, guys, be careful in the markets. Please read my reports. They're on our website for free. They're all there on the Patreon website for everybody to view. And I want you guys to just use extreme caution in these seasons. I don't want you guys to get in trouble. I know a lot of you guys are still very bullish the markets. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but I seem to be often from time to time. So be very careful, be very vigilant, make sure you're prayed up in all circumstances. If the Lord shows you something in the data, if the Lord shows you some things about the season, pray about those things. There's a lot of people who try to just trade off of prophetic timing, and it's very difficult because our ego is playing the way. So use caution when doing that. So therefore, pray about all things. Use other confirmations. Use other people for confirmations. Pray about it. Ask for a sign for the times and seasons. You can even ask God, Lord, what about timing? Prophet Robin said, I get numbers all the time, but the Lord never gives me timing. He never gives me timing. And he says, and I'm actually glad because I know it would play on my ego. There's a lot of pride that comes involved, and whether we're doing data or prophesying or preaching or whatever, and this is something we all have to deal with. Let me say a prayer for you. Lord, keep our community safe during the times of the bearish movements. Based on the data that I've seen, based on the art that you've given us, over the years, I seen a lot of danger. Based on the dreams you've given me and the prophetic you've given me, I see a lot of danger in the markets. And I want the people to prosper, but I also want them to be safe. I want it to not play off their greed, but Lord, ultimately, everyone is in your hand, and so am I. And we can all make mistakes, especially me. So I pray that you would guard my lips and guard me, Lord, against all presumption. And I pray that everyone would pray about all things, even whether it's coming from my mouth or mouth of a YouTuber, whether it's fundamentals or technical. No matter how confident a person may sound, I pray that they would pray and see what you have to say about all things. Now, the scripture tells us that the Bereans were more noble because they studied the scriptures diligently to see if what was written in them was what Paul was preaching. Lord, if I or anyone preaches, may we also diligently study to see if it is in alignment with other aspects, because that would be wisdom. The Bible says, let every matter be established by 2 or 3 witnesses. And Lord, as you give us multiple confirmations and signs, we are instilled confidence and faith about the more things. And I pray that you would reveal more and more of your mysteries, your timing, and your seasons, and how to prosper, whether we're in the prison or we're at the bottom of the well, or if we're simply managing Potiphar's house, or we're managing all of Egypt. Whether we're in times of abundance, or whether we're in times of famine. Lord, I pray that you would just strengthen us and give us the wisdom for each season. Whatever is needed, let us also be comfortable in that season, whether it's a season of great abundance and harvest, or a season of famine. Joseph was prospering. All Egypt was selling them to himself because he was selling the grain during those times. Lord, teach us to short sell during times of bearishness, and teach us to buy in times of bullishness. Show us the right seasons for the right moves, and let us see all the things in slow motion. Let none of them hit us, but let it all happen in slow motion for us, just like you've done for many years, and you've kept us and guarded us and protected our wealth for many years. So continue showing us that those bearishness and the bullishness, and wherever we go, up or down, it matters not, for our eyes are on you. And whether Joseph was in the time of abundance or famine, it didn't matter, because he was prospering either way. And Jacob, whether he was in Laban and his wages were being changed several times, he was prospering no matter what he did. You kept make him be in abundance. And whether his brother Esau was trying to hunt him or whatever was happening, you were finding ways to prosper him. And in the very sleep of his night, you gave him wisdom. So give your people wisdom in the seasons, whatever they do. And if they never hear another word from me, may they always pray and keep their eyes on you. And if they never see another teaching, or if today was my last day on earth, I pray that may I have done a good job by preaching the word of God. And may people keep their eyes on you, no matter what their bank account says, no matter what their crypto account says. May they keep their eyes on you, for you are all that really matters. And in you is found all good things. So we keep our eyes on you. Thank you, our Heavenly Father. Thank you. We pray all these things in the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.